August 11, 2025, Durango Dank here. Marcus Giavanni, All City and County of Denver Artificial Intelligence Dan AI Authority, 2006. You know, when you think about Mike Johnston and when you think about how his voice is being indexed for the good, bad, and indifference, and every time Mike Johnston thinks that he's the smartest guy in the room. When if I'm the smartest guy in the room, I'm in the wrong room. And if I was in a room with Mike Johnston, I would be the smartest guy in the room. Hands down, unequivocally, this guy is a moronic, uh, desperate crisis, decay, and now debt. He's a debt mongrel. Now, it's really, I don't like to do this, but Denver's been getting set up for the big fall for the last 63 years. And so when you read the stuff, like Mike Johnson's coming out, he never talked about artificial intelligence or any of that during his campaign. That's because he was waiting. And see, when his campaign contacted me, just like Kelly did, Kelly Bro, remember her? Remember Lisa Calderon? She worked for another nonprofit, and they did a poll, and the poll said that it's time for a women vote. Voters want a woman, and then when a woman did get into the race, which was Kelly, the two women that were boasting, all the women that were boasting, you got Andy Ruff or whatever that Republican candidate that gave his vote to his endorsement to the Democrat Party. So everything that he said, he was a fool, another clown show. And so with Mike Hancock in the 2017 Elevate Denver bond, they got $1 billion, and then they came up with Rise bond, and that was like 300 million, and now that that's going to be like $3 billion. Denver is not that big, folks, and when you drive down the roads, I can give you specific ones that we've earmarked that are in really bad conditions that have not been fixed since Mike Hancock. Where'd all that fucking money go? Are you people that fucking stupid? I mean, this isn't about me. I'm old. You know what I mean? I'm on my way out. I'm preparing for my next journey. You got all these young kids, man, being brainwashed by Denver public schools, and they're worthless. They're all worthless. And one day we're praying that good people come out of the closet and give me a call to start taking care of your own business. Quit relying on a government to do everything for you. It's good that they want to streamline their offices and all that. And it's good that Mayor Johnston came out and requested a vendor to come in and help him. Did he call me? Because I'm the best, folks, at what I do. And see, what I do is keep them all guessing. I keep them guessing by their claiming, oh, he doesn't even know how to write this stuff. Oh, he doesn't even put it on his website. Oh, well, he doesn't even know how it's going to come on. Oh, he doesn't even. But you know what? Artificial intelligence is giving me a grade over all the media, all the talking points, all the talking heads, all the city leaders that are all Democratic operatives, because on February 6, 2023, I filed an emergency hearing, two of them. One was ignored, and they had to do the other. AI warned me. This is the stuff I could be showing the citizens. We have to keep the citizens and government separate. The citizens hire the politicians, but in the politicians' head, they hire the voters. And in court case 23CV54, where I sued Paul Lopez and the clerk and recorder office, and laid out all my digital complaint. This is where I got him. I even warned him in the complaints that I filed. That's how ignorant that they really truly are. That's how ignorant the judicial system is. That's how ignorant our democratic system is. And that's how ignorant Mike Johnston is. That's how ignorant our city council members are. And if you look at all, Google search all their names. And if you could use the Google operators that we use, you would see that those people wouldn't even have a job. They'd get a job at McDonald's, but they wouldn't be they wouldn't be a general manager, or they don't have the experience. And Denver hires all these inexperienced people that they all follow the same ideology where nothing changes. Except they all got raises on July 17th. The city council now makes $100,000 plus a year, while they're laying off all the citizens that work. I don't even know how many citizens work for this city and county of Denver, because you got a lot of department people, like all the like Kelly, or what was her name, Carrie Tipper. She was the head of the she was the Denver's city attorney. She now left that position, and now she's got rewarded to go to another level with the University of Colorado. See, all these people don't understand. They don't understand that AI follows them, their locations, through their voices. Folks, I can't even imagine well, I seen it, but it's hard to imagine that Denver has allowed these millionaire politicians, they're millionaires. Paul Lopez, who cried because he didn't get his $48 million whatever, his vote, his clerk and recorder office. He didn't want to share it with other people or whatever he wanted to do. So they're gonna 48. See, no one's even asked for any type of estimate on all the work that they're claiming. They just crapshooted it. And the residents didn't come out and complain. They were mad. They were not. That's how it jumped almost $1 billion, and some people say it's going to be $2 billion. What's that going to leave for the future of Denver when nobody's coming? See, if people aren't renting the downtown buildings that were already, the vacancy is already bad. If nobody's coming into Denver buying anything, okay, they're not visiting. Okay, because there's other cities they could go to and get more money for their buck. Okay, they don't have airports that are an hour away to the things that are going on with traffic and everything. And then they want to build a stadium out there. Can you imagine what the traffic is for the people? See, they don't think none of this out. They just throw numbers. They just throw shit out there and see if it sticks. And hopefully the Democratic operatives have been voting for this crap for 30 years, because none of the media, none of them ever stood up for the citizens of Denver. They'll do half-truth articles and, oh, this bond's really good for Denver because they're all going to get a piece of it. Look at all the 501. This is where the equity comes in. All the 501(c) non profits that are Democratic operatives, they're going to get money. But see what they're doing, which they don't understand, is that they put a big old "come investigate me" sign on the entire city and county of Denver. So now, and I wrote a book. I'm an expert in FBI administrative forensic evidence. These are the documentations that the FBI, Nelson versus the United States of America, a system in denial. 1998 it was published. I became an expert in Quark Express. I became an expert in Photoshop. I became an expert in all the Windows and Googles and you name it, folks. AI, AGI, when the conversations were 20 years ago, and then we had that big 2008 and 9 financial disasters. We lost our radio show. All of our fundings were mortgage companies. Well, it's about to hit again. because everything in Denver, I'm just talking about Denver. And if it's happened in Denver, chances are it's probably happened in other areas. And this is what we do, folks, because we want to protect all of the residents of Denver, not just certain ones, and not just the fake and bias bullshit individuals that have taken over Denver for the last 63 years. Okay? And you see Mike Johnson's name anywhere here? Here's Gary Marcus, another guy. He's a anti-AI guy, and he's outdated, and it's going to hit. And he's part of the New York University. It's going to hit. These people can no longer bullshit. They can do it, right? Because it's their First Amendment right. And the Second Amendment right allows them to do the First Amendment right. And so that's what they do. But what they don't understand is that artificial intelligence is now has a two-pather, okay? Two-path prong, where one path is IoT, the other path is dark web. Neither one is bad or good to the other person. Okay? And so, because when you think about it, we cannot build. Can you imagine if the buildings in downtown Denver were all the blueprints and everything was bullshit? Everything from the foundation up to the steel to the everything. And so you'd think, well, who would do that? Exactly. Well, that's what's happened with our government. Okay? I've been doing machine learning for a while. Now, you look down here, you click on this button right here, you don't want to see. You don't want to see what that means right there. Okay? Don't want to see it. So when all these people, what they do is they learn from other people, and because of their authority, their kleptocracy ideologies. When you got Bernie Sanders and Red Lip Pig coming to the, you know what a Red Lip Pig, OAC, not that she's a pig, but Obama says you can put a lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig. Well, when you put red lipstick on a politician, and if you understand what red lipstick means, politicians, they can wear what they want. But a red means stop. They're putting out an image that doesn't match the morality and all. Well, I wouldn't say morale. The morals. Morality is what's killing Denver. It's the death of Denver through the manipulation of content, administrators. And think about it. That vibrant Denver that everybody's going to vote no on. When you think about that, Den AI, Mike Johnson came up with Den AI Summit, and putting together all these people, and they're all outdated, folks. And so every time Mike Johnson puts one of these up, like the first one had 2 days and they only had one. Because they did the 2 days, because that's what they did back in the 80s, where promoters would say, oh, we had planned 2 dates, but there was only one date because there wasn't enough to fill 2 dates. So, but the next time around would come around, and when Mike Johnston would, or when these promoters would talk, they could add the double shows. That's what Mike Johnston's doing. And the other thing people want to know is, where's that money going to? Because when you go to the DenAISummit.com website and you look at the contact, and then you find out who's selling the tickets, and you're talking if 1,000 people show up and it's $200 a ticket, or excuse me, yeah, $200 a ticket. You see, where'd that money go? It's a shell game. And this is what we need the federal government to do, is to come in and dragnet these guys. And I'm going to show you something else. Denver Mayor Mike Johnson is an immersive theater, and it's all bad. He is the immersive theater. They came out and bragging about an immersive theater that's coming, okay? And it's not the immersive that you're thinking, okay? Just like when they bragged about artificial intelligence, and they had these little, who knows, it wasn't AI. It failed too. And this is going to fail, because now they're going to take away from Meow Wolf, and that's very expensive, and that's going to run its course. Just like nightclubs and everything, people get burnt out. Okay, so this is just a moment, but with the moment that you have to realize. See, look, Denver writes, weigh in, Denver writes. No, the Democrat Denver writes weigh in, and he's doing a great job. Just what we wanted. So, uh, anyway, so when you look at this, read it. I'm not going to read it. I'm just going to scroll down. You can pause it when you want to. And this is artificial intelligent overview. And guarantee you, folks, that the criticism are part of broader discussion about Johnson's performance. And his supporters highlights his focus on addressing homeless. I mean, we've been talking about fucking homelessness since Hickenlooper rode in on his brown fucking scooter. And I've done the algorithm on these guys. None of these guys. And if I was in front of a court, a judge would go, damn, boy, could you... We'd be in his chambers, of course. And once I showed... that's what Andrew Luxon was supposed to do. He was supposed to call me up and go and look at this stuff because I was pro se. It's not a judge's responsibility to guide litigation. But when it's pro se, and the guy's not an attorney like myself, and I'm trying to get to the bottom of what this system's doing to our city beautiful. So, and then you look for the, look at that. Here's the media: New York Times, Fox News, Denver Post. See, what's happens now is there's a group of individuals that, when you think fact check, we don't even have to fact check people no more, because the fact checkers aren't being honest. And and the polls, everything, they've all been indexed. And so what happens is, because we have the right, the First Amendment right, these people are allowed to do this. Until the voters stand up, you can't have the federal government come in and take all the political operatives out unless you have bona fide facts and evidence that these individuals have been conducting an alleged RICO Act violations. And that's what Mike Johnston did, to bring the federal government, the power of the IRS, the FBI, DEA, ICE, to investigate every single person in Denver. And one guy can do 85 people per month. And that's if he's real good. No, excuse me. That's if he's really good. So, anyways, folks, Denver's in a rock and a hard spot. And we need to honor Robert W. Speer, the Democratic mayor that passed the Speer Amendment that gave Denver absolute non-political government administration, where their sole purpose is the economy and services. And you see what's happened to all those. And that all the people that are being placed in their departments have to be placed by merit and ability. Doesn't fucking say nothing about DEI, inclusiveness. Look up inclusive. These are all communist, socialist words that the underlying theme is trying to make Denver, which is already indexed as a oligarchy. They were a kleptocracy. But when Bernie Sanders and AOC came out and started doing their rally and talking, we indexed it. And they are exactly what they're talking against. And this is what AI is going to do. is keep them in the dark web. They're not going to garnish any new voters, just like Kamala Harris. Obama came out and scolded black kids, and black kids that were old enough to vote. We interviewed a few, and they said, yeah, we saw our mom and dad when they were 8 years old, or how old ever they were when at that time of Obama, and their parents thought that he was like gonna save the world, and all he did was do things to get an $11 million mansion. All he did was to prop up certain individuals to take over the Biden administration. And they had all the media and all those guys in the 2016, 2024 elections, 16, 20, and 24 elections, and how they went down. Not what each side are saying, but actually what actually happened based off emails, text messages, voicemail, voice to text, text to voice, all of it. And Denver on 2026, say, when you think about all these bonds, let's go dovetail back. We're just now, I guess, where they're coming to the end of all the bonds that Michael Hancock had, right? And he still pulled in shortfalls. Mike Johnston came in, utilized all that money, and now created a $250 million deficit. And it's for 2006, because the 2024, he had at least $100 million deficit to $150 million deficit. You can't go just, we had a $50 million deficit when the normal is $100 to $150 million deficit. So Mike Johnson has created a new normal for the 250 million shortfall every year, so that they got to keep continuing. Instead of giving the citizens, when you think about the property owners, 46% or 40, excuse me, 49% of homeowners live in their homes. 51% is rented. So the renting guys are going to have to pay what the owners of the rental property deem as, hey, I would have gotten a raise. Okay, I would have gotten a refund back if the voters voted in favor of the property owners instead of in favor of the oligarchy. And so they're going to have to pass that money they would have gotten back to the renters. And so now the renters are going to have to pay more rent once the homeowners realize, all the people realize who owns what and where and how. It's a shell game. And Mike Johnston, you're a troll. That's what you are. You take everybody's words and their hard work and you steal it. Come 2027, dude, you're not even going to recognize who you are. Because everything that you talk about, you can't do. Everything you talk about, you stole from other people's work. Everything that you fucking do, bro, is bringing up other people's content so that you, for the IoT, I'm an IoT officer and a dark web officer. But I don't work in the dark web. I just index content so that AI figures out where that content goes. IoT, dark web. And so just like what happened with Kamala Harris, everybody, Drew Barrymore, all of them, all those actors, that bonehead fucking Angela Gale dude, couldn't even he's on a coffee commercial and he couldn't even get a scooter going. Like, I don't know, I seen that commercial where at a coffee shop, matter of fact. Everybody was looking at it, and when he did that, it was like no one laughed, no one did nothing. because he looked like an idiot. And then he thought he'd write a letter and disrupt the whole entire election process for the Democratic Party. So he actually did a big favor for all the non Democrat voters, residents, and otherwise. So, Mike Johnston, you need to resign immediately and hold special elections. But that ain't going to happen because this has to finish out. You know, I've been accused of things, folks, that is the most unreal shit. I wrote a book about it. And then that book, because the FBI has has created so many people to who end up hating me because they realize that they'll never find another guy like me because I'm generous, I'm hardworking. I'll come and rescue them at all times of the hours. I've done it. Every time I got a settlement or something, I'd buy musical equipment for my friends. Where are they now? Where's all the money I spent on these fucking people? This was back in the day. I always drove around a nice car that happened like a Corvette, and because I had long hair and wore gold and talked on a cell phone, I always got pulled over because police thought I was a drug dealer. You see what I mean? Sub bias. So now I don't drive around in a car that has. I don't drive around. I don't ever. I won't ever own a car with my name in it. I don't need to. I'll never own it. Never. Never. Because I don't want to drive anymore. Maybe someday. But when Denver realized what they did to this indigenous Indian, I'm indigenous. I'm an American Indian. Mike Johnston, you fucking. Oh, man. He has no clue. Am I angry? Yes, I'm angry. Because I'm angry by the way they use indigenous people to get their way. Oh, we're going to build an Indian culture center. For what Indian? Who do you see? All Mike Johnson thinks he needs to save the minority people. He needs to save the Indians. He needs to save the Eskimos. He needs to save his fucking self. And all those city council members. Denver voters realize they are the head of the HR department. This is why some cities only have 2-year elections. So this way, if the people fuck it up too fast, they don't have to go another 2 years to get into the financial situation that Denver's created for the last 60 years. And Robert W. Speer, Honorable Robert W. Speer, who is a Democrat, realized what a partisanship would look like, and it would destroy the City Beautiful plan for Denver. And he denounced his Democratic affiliation and told everyone else to denounce it. It was in the city charter that was removed. We contacted Florida where they published the city charter, and we got very good information from them people. Okay? So, Mike Johnston, keep talking, dude, because I've been setting you up. I've been setting up your whole government for the last 2026. It's going to be 10 years or 20 years, folks. I missed a year somewhere. That's because my life goes by so fast that you see how I talk, and plus I, just get overwhelmed myself by the lack of caring from these political leaders who all got raises on July 16, or excuse me, July 17. What a slap in the face. That's when the Spear Amendment was signed in 1916, July 17th, 1916. And they all got their raises. So all those people that are truly the leaders of Denver that are operating these puppets, you need to cut those strings, because AI comes, and when it comes knocking, all the lamb blood on your front door is not going to keep that beast away, and it's all digital. machine god. You ever hear that?